In this video, we'll show you how the actors from the 1976 sitcom What's Happening have changed over the years. I'll show you how they've changed from being on the sitcom back in 1976 to now in 2022. Watch till the end of the video if you want to see how the cast of What's Happening has changed 46 years later. Ernest Thomas. In the sitcom, he played Roger Raj Thomas, the show's protagonist, a teenager living in Watts with his divorced mother Mabel and his younger sister Dee. Raj is a young man who is smart, polite, and wears big black glasses with horned edges. He wants to be a writer. In many episodes, Raj takes steps to follow his dream, like saving up for a screenwriting course or a typewriter or trying to impress a TV producer. He gets his high school diploma, moves out, and goes to college. Raj is known for being skinny, having a high-pitched laugh, and dancing in a strange way. For example, in one move, he puts his chin on his fist like the thinker, over and over again to the beat of the music. He sometimes talks in a baritone voice to try to get older women to like him. Raj also mumbles when he doesn't want to say something, but he knows he has to say it, especially when he has bad news. During the show's run, Thomas worked on other movies and TV shows, such as Beretta, The Brady Bunch Hour, and A Piece of the Action, which starred Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby. During the first season of What's Happening, Thomas was one of the last two actors to be considered for the lead role of Kunta Kinte in the groundbreaking miniseries Roots. LeVar Burton ended up getting the part, though. In the miniseries, Thomas would go on to play the smaller part of Kailuba. In 1976, he was 27 years old, and today he's 73 years old. Haywood Nelson. In the sitcom, he played Dwayne Nelson, the youngest member of the trio. Dwayne has a quiet, friendly personality, but he is very shy and has a terrible fear of the dark. The stories about Dwayne are often about his problems with girls, with bullies, and with his uncertain future. Dwayne is known for saying "hey, hey, hey" as a greeting, and "nuh-uh" as a way to say no or no way. Dwayne is the only character on What's Happening who appeared in every episode. Haywood's studies in architectural design and electronics engineering were put on hold when the cast of What's Happening got back together for 3 seasons of syndication. In the series continuation, What's Happening Now, for Columbia Pictures Television, where Haywood also worked as technical director. Later, Haywood played himself in the Paramount movie Dickie Roberts and had a part on The Parkers. He also acted in an urban drama on Broadway at New York's Lincoln Center Alice Tully Hall. In 1976, he was 16 years old, and now he's 62 years old. Fred Berry. In this sitcom, he played Freddie Rerun Stubbs, a bumbling, comedic young man with a friendly personality, commonly seen wearing a red beret and various suspenders. His friends make fun of him a lot because he is fat and not very smart. Because he gets bad grades in school, people call him Rerun, because he has to go back to school every summer to do the same work he did all winter. But Rerun is a talented dancer with a lot of energy. He enters a dance contest and The Gong Show, tries out for a dance group, and tries to get on a TV commercial. In the 3rd season, Rerun lives with Raj and works for ABC as a page. Berry had problems with drugs and alcohol for most of his career and his life. In an interview from 1996, he said that he had been using drugs and alcohol since he was a teenager. As he got more successful, he was able to buy more drugs. Berry tried to kill himself 3 times, but he got better and spent the rest of his life going to many churches. Berry became a Baptist minister and a motivational speaker in the 1990s. He also lost 100 pounds after being told he had type 2 diabetes. He was 25 years old in 1976, and sadly, on October 21, 2003, Berry was found dead at his home in Los Angeles, where he was recovering from a stroke. Danielle Spencer. In the sitcom, she played Dee Thomas, Raj's younger sister. In the first season of the show, she is annoying and rude, and says things that are way beyond her years. She is smart and obsessed with making money, usually by blackmailing her brother and his friends for a quarter at a time. As the show went on and Dee got older, her harsh personality changed into a sly sense of sarcasm, which included constantly making fun of Rerun's weight and stupidity. She also became more likable and fought less with Raj. After Raj moved into an apartment in the third season, Dee stayed in the Thomas house and Shirley moved in to help out. "Ooh, I'm telling Mama," or "Ooh, you are going to get it," are her go-to phrases when she sees or hears about a wrongdoing, especially by her brother. Her favorite thing to eat is peanut butter. The cast of What's Happening was honored at the 2006 TV Land Awards, where Spencer shared the Character Most in Need of a Timeout Award with Allison Arngrim of Little House on the Prairie. Spencer published a book about her life as a child star called Through the Fire, Journal of a Child Star. Spencer's life and career were brought back into the spotlight by the book, which led to appearances on shows like The Wendy Williams Show, TV One's hit show Life After, and Unsung Hollywood with her former cast members. In 1976, she was 17 years old, and she is now 53 years old. Mabel King. In the sitcom, she played Mabel Thomas, Raj's and Dee's divorced mother. She usually speaks with wisdom and authority, and Dwayne and Rerun look up to her as a parent figure. They also go to her for advice. Bill, Mabel's ex-husband, is played by Thalmas Rasulala. During the first season, he comes and goes from her life, but in the second season, he shows up when he gets married to a steady girlfriend in the Thomas house. Her role became less important in later episodes, and eventually she disappeared from the show altogether. Although her character was never written out, and she was still referred to. When she agrees with what someone says, she always says, "This is true." According to reports, King left the show because she didn't agree with the way it was going. King is also known for playing Eveline the Witch, a role she first played on stage in the musical The Wiz, and then played again in the 1978 movie version directed by Sidney Lumet. She put out music on the labels Rama Records and Amy Records. King had diabetes, and in 1986, one of her toes had to be cut off because of it. In 1990, King had a stroke and went to the Motion Picture and Television Country House and Hospital in Woodland Hills, California. She was 44 years old in 1976, and it was with great sadness that she passed away on November 9, 1999, at the age of 66. Shirley Hemphill. In this sitcom, she played the role of Shirley Wilson, a waitress at the neighborhood soda shop Rob's Place, where the main cast are regular patrons. She is a rude person who likes to poke fun at the boys. She and Rerun often fight because they are both overweight. Some episodes focus briefly on Shirley and her joys and sorrows. In the last season, Raj moves out of the Thomas house and Mrs. Thomas leaves to take care of a sick relative. So Shirley moves into the Thomas house to take care of Dee. After What's Happening Now was off the air for 3 years, she went back to working in nightclubs and did small parts in a number of comedy sitcoms from the 1990s, like Martin and the Wayans Brothers. Chris Rock was in her first movie, CB4, which came out in 1993. In her second movie, Shoot the Moon, with Whitney Anderson, which came out 2 years after her first, she had a part. In 1976, she was 20 years old, and it was with great sadness that on December 10, 1999, Hemphill was found dead at her home in West Covina, California. Her body was discovered by a gardener who looked through a window and saw her lying on her bedroom floor. An autopsy determined that Hemphill died of kidney failure. She was 52. Debbie Morgan. In the sitcom, she played Diane, a classmate of Roger, Dwayne, and Rerun. In the first 2 seasons, she was frequently seen in the classroom or at Rob's place, and at a birthday party for Roger. In the pilot episode, she was referred to as Diane Stewart. Critics loved Morgan's performance as clairvoyant Moselle Baptiste Delacroix in Cassie Lemons' drama film Eve's Bayou, in which she played a part, 1997. She was nominated for an Image Award and won a Chicago Film Critics Association Award and an Independent Spirit Award for how she played the role. Morgan played Dolores in the Marvel miniseries The Defenders, which aired in 2017. The next year, she had a recurring part on The Quad, a drama on BET. She was in the Netflix movie Sextuplets with Marlon Wayans in 2019. She was in the Lifetime movie Merry Little Christmas and its two follow-ups with Kelly Rowland. In 2021, she was cast as Yaya DaCosta's co-star on the Lee Daniels soap opera Our Kind of People. In 1976, she was 20 years old, and now she's 66 years old. Earl Billings. In the sitcom, he played Rob, the owner of Rob's Place and the boss of Shirley. Rob is a small business owner who is trying to keep his business going. To save money and make ends meet, he is known for serving cheap, bad-tasting fast food that is often made from leftovers from the day before, or, quote, kitchen accidents, like a, quote, meatloaf milkshake. Still, he has a steady stream of customers who are in high school and use the restaurant as a place to hang out after school. Earl Billings has become well known for appearing in Aflac ads. He has been on many TV shows and movies, such as Antoine Fisher, 2002, American Splendor, 2003, and Something New, 2005. He also starred in the short-lived ABC show Misguided with Judy Greer and Brooke Burns. In 1976, he was 31 years old, and now he's 77 years old. Slim Gaillard. In the sitcom, he played the role of Al. Slim appeared as Al in the episode The Thomas Treasure. Gaillard became famous in the late 1930s when he had hits like Flatfoot Flugie with a Floy Floy and Cement Mixer, Putty Putty with Leroy Elliott Slam Stewart as Slim and Slam. Gaillard was a bomber pilot in the Pacific during World War II. In 1944, he went back to making music and played with famous jazz artists like Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, and Dodo Mamarosa. During the 1960s and 1970s, he acted in movies, sometimes as himself, and had small roles on TV shows like Roots: The Next Generations. In the 1980s, Gaillard got back on the European Jazz Festival circuit. Dizzy Gillespie told him to move to Europe, so he did. He settled in London in 1983. In 1976, he was 65 years old, and it was with great sadness that he passed away on February 26, 1991, at the age of 80. Talmas Rasulala. In the sitcom, he played Bill Thomas, Mabel's ex-husband and Roger and Dee's father. When Dee was 1 month old, he left his family and became a bad person. When he first shows up, he tries to steal money from Mabel. In later episodes, though, he is shown in a better light. Bill was never seen on the show again after he got married to Lee Henderson, Lee Chamberlain, on screen. However, he was still talked about off-screen. Rasulala was a guest star in the first episode of the second season of What's Happening Now, called Nadine's Surprise. In that episode, it was shown that Bill and Roger had stopped talking to each other after Roger remarried. Roger's new wife, Nadine, plans a surprise reunion for Bill and Roger to make up. Talmas Rasulala was an American actor who had a long career in theater, television, and movies. He is best known for his leading roles in blaxploitation movies, but he was also one of the original cast members of ABC's soap opera One Life to Live, from its first episode in 1968 until he left the show in 1970. In 1976, he was 37 years old, and it was with great sadness that Rasulala died of leukemia on October 9, 1991, at the age of 51. Fritzy Burr. In the sitcom, she played Miss Collins, the boys' high school teacher. She thinks Roger is a smart and promising student and wants the best for him, even though they once had a fight over what to put in the school newspaper. On the other hand, Rerun's constant failures make her angry, and she has had him as a student many, many times. Burr worked often in small theaters, dinner theaters, and touring companies of musicals like Fiddler on the Roof, in which she played both Yenta and Goldie, Teve's long-suffering wife, at different times. She moved to Hollywood and worked as a character actress in movies and on TV. She was 52 years old in 1976, and it was with great sadness that Burr passed away in Fort Myers, Florida, of natural causes on January 17, 2003, at the age of 78. The 1976 What's Happening Now sitcom was amazing. and some of the cast members even received awards for their portrayals in the sitcom. It has now been 46 years, and the actors have definitely changed a lot. Some have even already left this world. But that's just the way it is. See you in the next video.